All right, Larry Krueger, another Krug show, and with us is John Chapman, 49er Gold Rush podcast. John, how are you?
Man, I'm great. And I think great minds think alike. I'm going to put myself in your kind of sphere right now. I was getting the mock draft itch, man. And sure enough, you reach into the inbox, and I'm so pumped to be here, man. Really glad to be here, Larry.
Well, let's roll it down. So what we're going to do this is we're going to go NFL mock draft simulator. I'm going to do it on the phone, not on the screen, and we're just going to keep track. John's going to go straight through, and you can make trades. You can do whatever you want to do when the Niners are on the clock. You'll make all the Niner picks. We'll reset it. I'll do a mock draft. We'll have a brief little discussion about what we have. So, all right. So you are now at pick 61. And you got a couple trade offers on the table. You can trade your 61 and 262 for 90, 131 and Tennessee's third round pick from next year, or you can reject that and you can go to your other trade option.
I'm rejecting that one right off the bat. The 49ers currently are slated for 11 picks next year. We need players that can help now. And I don't want to push back any further. I'm going to be really honest with you, Larry. I'm trigger happy. And I think Kyle and John are too. And waiting till 61 is going to be tough.
Yeah, it is.
I want a player. All
right, the other option, the Dolphins have just called. Chris Greer is on the other line, and he says he's offering you pick 102 and pick 125 and their third for next year for 61 and 262 in round 7.
Value would say do that trade, but again, I want my toy now.
You're rejecting.
I'm turning it down. All right,
so now we go to the board. Now, what would you want to go best available and have me read you the list? Do you want to go a certain position? How would you like me to tell you who's left on the board here?
I am not, and I don't think the 49ers either are best player available early drafters. I think they do that day 3, but not early. Early, they're looking for impact players that can help. I know the last year's draft maybe didn't say that, but here's what I want. There's a couple positions that I think are important in no particular order. I got to check wide receiver first, even though I don't think it's the biggest need. There is a player that I'm sure all other 49ers fans are sitting there saying in the back of their head, Trey Lance's old teammate. Is there any opportunity whatsoever he's there? I know it's a long shot.
All right, we go to the wide receiver board, and you are correct, sir, as Doc Severinsen used to say to John, or as Ed McMahon used to say to Johnny Carson, "You are correct, sir." All right, yes, Christian Watson. Christian Watson is there. So is John Mechie the third. So
Christian Watson's available?
Christian Watson is available at 61. John Mechie the third. Jalen Tolbert, Skye Moore, David Bell, Justin Ross, Calvin Austin the third, Khalil Shakur, Wan'Dale Robinson. They're all there at 61. Do you want to look to see what's behind other doors at other positions?
Yeah, I want to check, but there's 2 wide receiver names that jumped out big time there. Skye Moore and Christian Watson. I think if either one of those 2 players are there, and they could be Skye Moore, smaller speedster deep threat. Then you have Christian Watson, 6'4", speedster deep threat. But I think they both fulfill a role that the wide receiver core needs for the 49ers, a speed deep threat not named Debo or Ayuk. So I'm leading Christian Watson by a mile right now. What about the edge class? Did a stud edge fall?
All right, so this is who's left on the edge. Cameron Thomas, San Diego State. Kingsley Inagberi from South Carolina. Nick Benito from Oklahoma, Isaiah Thomas from Oklahoma, Jeremy Gunter, who I really like a lot, Coastal Carolina, Dominic Robinson, who the Niners have met with from Miami of Ohio, Jesse Luketa from Penn State, Michael Clemens from A&M, Alex Wright from UAB, D'Angelo Malone, Western Kentucky, Trey Williams, Arkansas. That John Pascal's still there.
I'm good. I'm good. The one that stood out to me probably the most was Cameron Thomas, even though I think he's probably a better player. So, like, if you're looking for an edge best play available, he would be on that list for sure. But he's not the dynamic speed guy that I really want at edge that I would draft in the second, even though he would be great. But with Christian Watson there, I'm going to bypass that. I'm going to feel okay.
Do you want to know best player on the board?
Yeah, sure. Give me the quick kind of 5 best players that are.
The best players on the board, and this might change your thinking. Breece Hall, Iowa State,
Ooh.
still on the board. A lot of people think he could be a first-round pick. Christian Harris, the linebacker from Bama, is on the board. We already told you about Christian Watson and Cameron Thomas. Bernard Raymond, the big tackle from Central Michigan, is on the board. Isaiah Spiller. Kyler Gordon is still on the board. And
All
Kyler
right.
Gordon
All right.
is
Hold
and
on,
Leon
Larry.
O'Neal's still on the board. And Logan Hall is still on the board.
Okay.
There's some good players there.
This is a dream scenario. So let me tell you this. I have 14 first-round grades currently. And my last first-round grade in this class, Kyler Gordon. Cornerback out of Washington. Dude is a beast. Probably one of the best. Yeah, exactly. I love this guy. So now I'm stuck. You're killing me, Larry.
You got perimeter options. You want to go Christian Watson to be the third wide receiver behind Debo and Ayuk? Or do you want Kyler Gordon, who, if things break right, John, he might be your week one starter on the corner. He's definitely, he would start week one. More athletic than any of the corners you currently have.
I agree completely. And on top of that, where did the 49ers falter the most during the playoffs? That slot fade, whether it was Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams hit it with us earlier, like that is the number one thing. Guess what Kyler Gordon's better at than any other slot corner in this draft? Covering the slot fade. So the question, oh man, this is killing me. The question boils down to this. What is the overall arching theme that this team needs to develop? I think it's to make Trey Lance comfortable. I think, if we're the bigger impact player would probably be Kyler Gordon. The best player available for me, hands down, would be Kyler Gordon. He's like my draft crush. But more important than all those things, make Trey Lance comfortable. This hurts. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I'm going Christian Watson. I love Christian Watson.
Go Christian Watson.
But I have, I have Gordon rated a good 15 spots ahead. But, man, you've got to make Trey Lance comfortable. And if Debo goes down, this offense is going to disappear, and that scares the death out of me. So I'm going Christian Watson with that pick 61. Hopefully everybody's not going to hate me in there. How'd I do? Did
John
I do
Chapman
wrong,
on the
faithful?
board? Christian Watson. We're now down at pick 93. I've got it on fast mode, John. Fast. We're not wasting any time. Now you got another trade offer. Dolphins want to trade again. Now, this one's intriguing. They're offering you pick 102. So they're saying, do you want to drop from 93 to 102? You want to move down 9 spots. You also have to give them pick 172. But for that, moving down 9 spots, they would give you pick 125. So you could move down 9 spots in this round and then move up 25 spots in the next round.
Is there a possibility, and tell me if there's not, can I get a best player available update, just top 5 before I decide that? Because we also pick 105. So
that's right. So here are the best players on the board. Greg Dulcich from UCLA, the tight end, who's runs really well. Do you want another tight end with Kittle? I don't know. They just re-signed Dwelly. They have Werner. Maybe tight end is not a. There's a guy that I really like, day 3 in tight end as well. So I would probably say no. Then Nicholas Petit-Frere, the big offensive tackle from Ohio State that Aiden Hutchinson just abused in the Buckeye game against Michigan. Jeremy Ruckert, another tight end for the Buckeyes, is there. Jerome Ford, Verone McKinley, I should say, from Oregon is there. Damone Clark is there. He actually has an injury, so he's probably going to fall. James Cook is still there if you like the Georgia running back. Khalil Shakur, Wan'Dale Robinson, but you went wide receiver already. Brian Robinson's there, the running back from Alabama.
I've decided. I'm jumping back. And I want to move back and get more stud picks that can come out there because there's nobody that jumped out to me there. If there was somebody that was like, I got to have them. But I didn't feel that way. So let's take that trade. Let's jump back.
All right, so you want to go back. Let's do this. Definitely, it reset. So now we're gonna have to do this because I've reset. All right. Unfortunately, this thing got reset. But
no worries. Worst comes to worst, they rescind their trade offer, and we got Christian Watson, and we're back on the board. It's not a big deal. You have
Christian Watson, and now you're back at 93.
They Josh McDaniel'd us. They agreed and then backed out.
So now who's on the board? Now you have Dulcich, you have Quay Walker, you have Matthew Butler, Kirby Joseph,
Ooh.
Justin Ross, McKinley, Damone Clark, James Cook,
I'm liking Kirby
Shakur.
Joseph, safety out of Illinois. Right off the bat,
Okay.
he stands out. Let's go check corners real quick. I want to see if there's a slot guy there that I
The
would love.
corner,
And
Zion McCollum, Alontae Taylor, Michael Wright from Oregon. The Penn State corner, Tariq Castro Fields is there. Marcus Jones from
Marcus
Houston's
Jones
there.
is there. Okay,
Yep.
now that's my new number one. And again, I think for those of you who are watching and listening, I put a very high premium on the slot corner. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they don't play that much. Over 70% of snaps they play. We didn't bring back K'Wan Williams. So that's one of those positions I'm very, very high on. And then can we check edge? Oh, man, there's two more positions I want to check
Jeremy
if that's
Gunter,
okay, Larry.
Dominique Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, Jesse Lucada, Michael Clemens, Alex
Okay, I'm
Wright,
good.
D'Angelo Malone. There's a lot of good edge rushers. This is a really good class for edge
It
rushers.
is. Let's go interior offensive line. This is going to be the last thing I check.
Okay.
Hopefully you don't get mad at me here.
You want a guard or a center?
I want a multiple guy, but yeah, let's
Cameron
do
Jurgens
centers.
from Nebraska is
I
still
like
there.
him, but still a little bit longer. I'm going to wait.
Okay. Top guards are Cole Strange, Cade Mays, Chasen Hines,
Cole Strange
Jamari
is nice.
Sawyer from Georgia, Thayer Munford from Ohio State.
I've heard enough.
Justin Schaffer from Georgia.
I've made my decision. I am going cornerback out of Houston.
Corner.
Great ball skills. I just did a video breakdown of him over on my channel. I love this guy's cornerback Marcus Jones with that pick in the 3rd round. And so I got the two positions that I really, really wanted, wide receiver and slot corner. And that way we keep our outside corner depth with Ambry Thomas, Mosley starting opposite Charvarius Ward, who we just signed. I love it. I love it.
All right. Christian Watson, Marcus Jones, you're now on the board again. And you got a couple trade offers. You got pick 105 right now, and Chris Ballard's on the line. And Chris Ballard wants pick 105, and he's offering you for pick 105 and pick 262. He's offering you 3 picks: pick 122, 159, and 179. That's one offer. The other line is ringing, and it's the Tennessee Titans, and they're offering you a 3-for-1. Your pick 105 for 131, 143, and 219.
No.
You don't like that?
No.
So now you want to go see who's on the board. The best player available on the board, regardless of position, is Quay Walker, the linebacker from Georgia.
I like him a lot, but
what other positions are you looking for?
Let's go back to safety. Let's see if there's a stud safety that we could bring in to compete.
So, yeah, the top safety on the board is one of my favorite players, Nick Cross from Maryland. JT Woods is there from Baylor. Yusuf Corker from Kentucky. Sterling Weatherford from Miami of Ohio. Smoke Monday, great name from the Auburn Tigers. Brian Cook from Cincy. Joshua Williams, Fayetteville State, who's a pretty good player. Marquis Bell. Pretty good
as
player.
you go through these names, there are so many 4-3, 4-4 safeties in this year's draft. Typically, you don't get that. The safety depth in day 3, Brian Cook, JT Woods, Nick Cross, all like 4-3 guys, like crazy speed guys. Nick Cross comes off for me. That's probably one of my favorites. I do want to go back and see interior offensive line. If Cole Strange is there, I think I'm going to go Cole Strange. Again, going back to that concept, I'm going Cole Strange because
Cole Strange is the top guard on the board in this
love
mock.
it.
You want him?
Yeah, I want him because even though he hasn't, I don't believe he's played center yet. It gives you more versatility. You could possibly move Brunskill inside. Everything is going to be dependent upon making Trey Lance comfortable and more depth on the inside. I'm totally cool with this. Cole Strange.
So far we've got Christian Watson, wide receiver, North Dakota State, Marcus Jones, corner from Houston, and Cole Strange, guard from Chattanooga. And you are once again on the board here in, let's see, you have picked now 134. 134, and the top player on the board, regardless of position, is Bailey Zappi, quarterback from Western Kentucky. But Jeffrey Gunter's still there. Nick Cross is still there. Damian Pierce, running back from Florida, is still there. Alontae Taylor, Michael Clemens, the big tight end from Maryland who ran so well. Okonkwo, he's there. Pierre Strong, Alex Wright. If you want to go punter, the San Diego
Matt
State punter
Araiza,
is
yeah, he's there.
Araiza. Yeah, he's on the board. Cameron Jurgens is on the board. Smoke Monday. All these guys are still there.
Man, I would have, if I was the GM, right, I would have watched, and once Nick Cross or Brian Cook went off the board, I would have traded up immediately and got the opposing player that was left. That's what I would have. I would have been watching. If a safety went, boom, let's get on the phone. Let's jump up. But I don't have to do that. We got lucky. And I'm seeing in the chat here, what's I think it's Lotha Truth 05, baby. He says, Nick Cross, I'm all in. I almost went Nick Cross with the last pick if Cole Strange wasn't there. I'm going Nick Cross right here. Maryland 4.3 speed.
Oh, I love this player. Yeah. Ooh. This is the guy that makes Jimmy Ward a strong safety. You know, this is the guy that can play that deep middle, tons of speed, but great instincts. You know, I mean, Tarvarius Moore's got good speed, but it's more than speed. You have to have speed and instincts. And so you're going free safety, Nick Cross out of the University of Maryland. All right.
I got a third round grade on that kid. So I think that's a huge value pick right there.
You're now in, looks like, what round is this now? You are in the 5th round. Is that right?
I believe so.
Round 5. Round 5, and your pick 172. And if we go best player on the board at 172, it's Cameron Jurgens, the center from Nebraska, followed by Zamir White, the running back from Georgia, Chasen Hines, a guard from LSU, Trey Williams, who's got some problems off the field, but the Arkansas defensive end, Marquis Bell. I'm looking who else is here. Go ahead. What like? Danny Gray's there.
Yeah, the 5th round has been an absolute they've hit home runs. I love Cameron Jurgens at the center. I would love that pick. Real quick, this is the point where I would like to see if there is a running back that perhaps fell. Is there a stud running back that's there?
Look at you.
Oh, what's up, 49ers, George? I love
your instincts for this are great. Okay, well, Zamir White is the highest running back on the board. I already gave you that one. But Sincere McCormick, pretty good running back. Ty Chandler, I really like him, North Carolina. BJ Baylor, Oregon State. Kevin Harris, South Carolina. Jashawn Corbin from Florida State. Keontae Ingram.
No, I'm good. I'm not, nothing popped off that I was
nobody
yet. You know, if there was somebody
some
there,
other guys.
If Isaiah Spiller was there, if a Rashad White was there, those types of players, that would make me think a little bit because I think they're very good scheme fits.
Well, in this mock or in this board, they're not there, but in real life, Isaiah Spiller may wind up there because he did work out poorly. But in this mock, they still have him rated higher because he had a good year production-wise. So he's probably in reality, Isaiah Spiller might be on the board here, but not in this mock.
Let's beef it up, man. Let's go some Cameron Jurgens. Get some beef jerky in there, baby. Let's go. We're bolstering that offensive line in the middle. We got Cole Strange, who's going to compete at guard. We got Cameron Jurgens, who's going to be competing. And that gives us Jake Brindle, who we kept last year as our backup center. Now we have competition for whenever, our Alex Mack decides to hang up the cleats. We're going to have competition. We're going to have a plan in place. I like this because I want to fortify the inside of that offensive line.
All right, 187. Now we're at pick 187. Top half of round 6, and the best player on the board is Jarian Ely, running back, Mississippi. Brock Purdy's there. Kennedy Brooks is there. The running back, Justin Schaffer, offensive lineman from Georgia. Jalen Weidermeyer from Texas A&M. The tight end is there. Sincere McCormick, pretty good player. Gene Delance, Bo Melton, a couple of guys the Niners have already met with. Jack Cohn, if you want a quarterback. Ty Chandler, if you want a running back. Dylan Parham, the big brawling guard. Velus Jones is one of my favorites. He's a wide receiver / running back. Dylan Parham is still there. He's kind of a brawling guard from Memphis.
I love that.
I really like him. I think he's pretty athletic and he's pretty tough.
Man, we are.
Position
that's
that you
weird
want to
that they're that low on him.
You've
Let's
already
look
got
at
two O
edge.
linemen, and you got two O
Yeah, I'm not
linemen,
going
two
O-line anymore.
DBs, and a wide receiver.
Let's look at some edge defenders and see if there's a speed guy that perhaps fell. Like, again, I'm looking for the burst off the edge is kind of what's important to me. So perhaps a smaller guy with a little bit more speed.
Trey Williams from Arkansas, John Pascal from Kentucky. He's about 270. David Ane, who plays for Houston, comes flying off the edge.
Yeah, that's a name that's intriguing to me there. Is the Houston
As
kid. I
far as
enjoyed
I'm trying
him.
to think, yeah, he's definitely athletic. He's an undersized guy, but he's got some pass rush to him.
Man, there's no
Looking to
other edge
see if
guys
there's
that are
any
there. I like Josh Pascal. He's a bigger cat, though.
Amare Barno from Vatek, Ali Fayyad from Western Michigan, Christopher Allen from Alabama, Zach Van Valkenburg from Iowa, the Notre Dame kid Myron Tagovailoa Amosa is there, Kyron Johnson from Kansas.
Yeah,
There was a good
man.
class, but they all cut in that last.
Yeah, it got kind of weird there. So
Is there another
let's go
spot that you're looking
back.
for?
Man, it's probably the biggest need, but I'm not liking a lot of the fits there. Let's go back. Here we go. What about an outside
What
corner? Let's
position?
go to cornerback. Let's go back to corner.
Well, this one's interesting because you do have Darion Kendrick is still there, but Darion Kendrick in his Georgia Pro Day ran 4.72. So I'll say this: he's a big player who played against great competition against the best receivers in the country, and I don't remember him getting toasted left and right. So I look
Right.
at that 4.72 and just kind of say, probably didn't prep for the draft. I would probably take Kendrick there of this group of corners. Just because I think he's a good player who just ran slow. Zion Gilbert, Florida Atlantic's not a bad player. The top-rated corner on the board is Kalen Barnes from Baylor and Vincent Gray from Michigan.
Well, there
and
we go.
Jalen Watson from Wazoo.
I'm good. I want Kalen Barnes, cornerback.
Kalen Barnes.
He fits the exact same athletic profile as Emmanuel Mosley and Charvarius Ward. A little bit faster. He's one of the Baylor track guys that comes out there. He's 5'11", right at that 6 foot mark. And again, a guy that can bring diversity. And here's my thinking. As much as the Barnacle has kind of made himself a part of the 49ers kind of whatever past decade, and that's great, it would be awesome if he didn't get snaps because of injuries. And so I want to fortify that. So a high upside corner that if Emmanuel Mosley leaves next year, he only has 1 year left on his deal. Hey, Ambry Thomas steps into that starting role. We're developing outside corner depth.
All right. Well, now you got 2 picks back to back because the Niners go 220, 221 at the end of the 6th round. And now we're getting into the draft where it's probably best player available, unless you have a need that you feel like you want, to fill.
Offense. I want a wide receiver or a running back. Those are the 2 spots I'm looking for here.
Okay, so the wide receivers, the best on the board, Bo Melton from Rutgers, who is nice. I mean, kind of rips the ball away. Velus Jones Jr. from Tennessee, sleeper wide receiver. He's not a burner, but he's a sleeper wide receiver. Is the Idaho State kid, Tanner Connor. He's not bad. Jalen Naylor from Michigan State.
I'm good. I'm going Velus Jones. That's what I want. We got the big outside guy in Christian Watson early. We got lucky there. Velus Jones is much more of a just dynamic athlete. He's not Debo. I hate when everybody compares people to Debo, but he's a get the ball in his hands. He's going to create for you. So again, just getting another one of those guys because we only have 3 current wide receivers on our entire team. 4 if you count Ray McLeod, but we've got our 3 starters, Ayuk, Debo, and then also our big slot guy. Goodness, his name's escaping my mind right now.
Shawan Jennings.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then Christian Watson, Ray McLeod. Now we got our 6 with Velus Jones. So that'd be fun.
I love this pick. 49er George 365 says Jones can be a return man as well. The only reason Velus Jones is available here at the end of the 6th round is because he's overage. He's 26.
Yeah.
He started at SC, but this is a smart kid who already has his bachelor's degree and his master's degree and can be a return guy, running back / wide receiver. Love that pick. Okay, so let's go to the next pick. This is 221. You want to look at running backs?
Yes, sir.
Ty Chandler, Quay Holmes.
Ty Chandler's there?
Yeah, Ty Chandler, North Carolina. I love Ty Chandler.
Yeah,
Shamari Jones, B.J. Baylor, Kevin Harris. And there's some good ones down this list, too, if you look further. Greg Bell, Ronnie Rivers, C.J. Verdell.
Man, it's not close to me.
Cameron
I think CJ
Harris.
Verdell's a close one, but man, I'm pretty high on Ty Chandler. He's got, I mean, they run a zone scheme fit, and he's filled in very, very well. They lost 2 stud running backs. He has had a lot of use. 5'11", 203. I'll take this cat and be very, very happy. Very happy.
He's, Ty Chandler's got the speed to get to the edge. And I saw him in one of the All-Star games, and I thought, wow, look at this guy. They just ran him on a little belly play, and he went untouched. He ran about 12, 14 yards before anybody touched him. He's got that kind of scoot to the sideline, so that's a good one. All right, so the 49ers are now on the board with pick number 262.
Mr. Irrelevant.
And the player pool, this is it. This is the last pick of the draft. 262. You want to go player available? Nazir Greer from Wake Forest is the best player available according to the board.
I don't even know what position he plays. I want to be honest.
That you're looking for?
Yeah, right. I mean, okay, so is there an offensive tackle that's available? Again, like now I'm looking for a developmental piece. We haven't addressed that position. So I'm looking for a very high upside raw guy. Something like a Devin Cochran, Tyler Vrabel out of Boston College, Vrabel's son. I think he could kind of fit what it is the 49ers do. Are
you looking for an offensive tackle?
Yes, sir.
Yep. The offensive tackles are Scott Lashley, Mississippi State, Adonis Boone, Louisville, Dylan Cook, Montana, Aaron Service, Syracuse, Tyrone Riley, NC State, Larry Boyd, Davenport, Willie Allen, UMass, Sam Schlater, Minnesota, Jared Williams.
I'm thinking of the teams they play for, and I'm going through their schemes. Like I'm trying to figure, because I haven't done film on all these guys, obviously. So what I'm looking for at that point is a developmental guy, somebody that's tall and lean or played in a run zone scheme. Man, I'm trying to think through those teams. You said Blaze Andrews?
Tyler Vrabel from
he's there?
Yeah, he's
that's one of my targets. Yeah, I don't think that he's going to be, a dominant guy. But again, this is Mike Vrabel's kid. And yeah, he's played in BC. I love their offensive line program. That's who I'm going to take right there. Mr. Irrelevant, the coach's son. We're going to bring him over. We brought in Peterson's son last year as undrafted free agent. You can't value those guys enough because they know what the heck's going on the field.
Yes. All right, so let's recap what you got there. Christian Watson going to the Niners, wide receiver, North Dakota State. Marcus Jones, cornerback from Houston. Then you went O-line with Cole Strange, guard from Chattanooga. You went free safety with Nick Cross from Maryland. Cameron Jurgens, you went center from Nebraska. Kalen Barnes, Baylor corner. Bayless Jones, wide receiver, Tennessee. Ty Chandler, running back, North Carolina. Tyler Vrabel, offensive tackle, BC. Pretty good draft. I can tell you,
I like
pretty good draft.
I know what I'm missing. I'm missing
very heavy. Let's see on the offensive side. You only went with one. You only went with 3 offensive player edge.
And I no edge player. Right. That's the big
no edge
glare.
Players.
No edge player. You don't get an edge early, you're kind of screwed. Like by the 5th round. And again, I haven't dove into a lot of those guys' thing, but edge is one of the premium positions you have to hit on early, and I passed on it. But I like what I got.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to go. I want your commentary here because I'm going to be operating this thing and hitting the buttons. But here we go. We're going to start drafting. We're going fast. We're going 7 rounds, and I've been known to trade. So I just want everybody to let everybody know. Yeah. I've been known to trade back.
Willen and Dylan, let it begin.
All right, here we go. Pick 61 on the board. I've got 2 trade offers. I can move back to 76. and get a third-round pick next year from the Ravens, or I can move back to 83 and
Ooh,
get.
that's a big drop.
Yeah, seriously. I think I'm gonna hide that for a second and see who's on the
I got
board.
better trade offers than you, Larry. I think people
Ye-
like me more, man. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
seriously, you do get better trade offers. I am going to. So I'm looking at this board, and I think the 49ers. I'd go best player available more times than not. That's kind of my philosophy, right? Just go best player available. Now Arnold Ebiketie
Yes.
from Penn State's pretty damn good. Tariq Woolen is a big corner from University of Tennessee at San Antonio. He's on the board.
Do you think the 49ers would go with a 6'4" corner? Do you think they'll go back to that? All the guys we have now are 6'1" or under. I'm
And I don't
curious,
even
like,
think. Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question, John. I don't know if the Niners how big corner is a need right now. You got Charvarius Ward. He's going to start. You have Ambry Thomas. He's going to start. Mosley's going to slide inside to the nickel. Those are your top three starters. You have Lenore coming back. You have Dante Johnson still. There's somebody I'm not thinking of. Oh, they could maybe even bring back Jason Verrett still. So I don't know. But I would say Kyler Gordon is on the board here. Leon O'Neal's on the board. But you know what? This is the 49ers. And the 49ers do not go with corners this early. I'm going to go defensive tackle, Logan Hall, Houston.
Oh, whoa. I
Logan
love
Hall,
it.
defensive tackle. And the reason I love Logan Hall is just that he's got a ridiculous motor. He's a pass rusher, and he's an interior rusher. And I think interior rusher is how you win in the NFL today. You don't need interior Javon Kinlaw. You need somebody who can get to the passer inside, and you got to come at him in waves. And guys who can play multiple spots with all the stunting that the Niners typically do on their D line. I'm going Logan Hall with the first pick in the draft.
I just finished a breakdown on him. I was doing a bunch of Houston film, and there were 2 plays. He might have the best swim move I have graded in a very long time, where like you're watching everybody and like he like reacts off of the offensive lineman so well. It boosts every time. It looks like he's fast forward and everybody else is in slow motion. He's a fun watch, and he can play everywhere. He can play nose, he can play 3, he can play 5 technique. And, you know, I mean, he has the body and the speed. I think he ran a 4.8 as a defensive tackle. Fun pick, man. Look at you. That's fun. I like that. Spicing it up.
All right. I moved back in the next pick 6 spots, and I got 3 picks in the 200s. So I just moved back. 6 spots. So now I'm at 99. I was at 93. I moved from 93 to 99, and for it, I got 3 picks back in one of them, 3 second round, 2 picks in the 200s. So now I'm at 99, and the Raiders are calling, and they're offering
good trade back again. I love this.
164, 165 in their 5th to move back 27 spots. So I want to move back 27 spots. Now I think I'm gonna pick here because I don't want to move back that far. All right, so I've got a defensive tackle. Now I'm looking at the board. And man, it's not a great looking board, but the one receiver that I think is really special here is Khalil Shakur. So I'm going to take Khalil Shakur from Boise with my pick here. And I don't know if you've seen Shakur, but Shakur's got crazy ball skills. And I just look at him as a guy who can play right away.
Yeah, he's fun, very seasoned. Just fit very well in what they do there. And it's like he's, you hear jack of all trades. He's kind of like a king of all trades. He just does everything well, polished, fun kid, very fun watch.
All right, here we go. This is the last pick of day 2. This is pick 105. And I'll check the player pool. Who's the best player available? It's David Bell from Purdue. It's Greg Dulcich from UCLA, the tight end. Justin Ross is there, but I just went receiver. Damone Clark's there. I really like him, but he's hurt. Brian Robinson. I'm going to go Dominic Robinson, the edge rusher from Miami of Ohio. I think the edge is going to be important And this is a guy the Niners already met with, and
Yep.
he's a very raw player, but he might be as talented as any of the players in this draft. All right, here's another one. Here's another trade. Now I'm at pick 134, and Denver's calling, and they're wanting my 7th next year, and they're offering me 137, 206, and 232. I'm taking that. I'll move down 3 spots at this point for 2 extra picks.
I love how
3
you're
spots
going to
is
have like
nothing at this point in
14
the draft.
players, baby. I love this, man.
It's
We're
gonna be
bringing in
awesome.
all the
It's
youth.
going to be seriously, by the time this draft is over, it's going to be Saturday morning, and we're all going to be on with our weekend. All right,
No, I don't think anybody's complaining. This is awesome, man. I love this. This is awesome.
All right, so here we go. We're now let's see. We are now at pick 137, and we go to the player pool, and let's check. Now we have a defensive end, we got a wide receiver, we got a defensive tackle. So let's check. I'm going to do what John did. Now it's time to look around at the positions. Safety, JT Woods is the top safety. Smoke Monday. Don't love that. Corner, Alante Taylor is there. And I do like Alante Taylor, and Marcus Jones is there. So that's good. Linebacker, no. Edge, there's some good edge rushers there. Michael Clemens.
You going to go edge again? You just went edge. You double dip there?
I know. I don't know if I go. I can't. I don't know if I can double dip.
You already got 2 D linemen, Larry.
You know what? I love this player that's sitting at the very top of the board. It's a running back from Florida named Damian Pierce. I don't know if you've seen Damian Pierce, but he was on the Feldman freaks list. This guy is just crazy leg strength. He's your short yardage back. He's about, he can break tackles. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm going Damian Pierce, running back from Florida. Crazy leg strength. I mean, this guy broke the leg machine. And if you watch him, he's got ridiculous power, short yardage. And to me, the one thing the Niners are always looking for, they've got speed backs, but then they want to bring another back onto the field to convert on short yardage. And it's got to be somebody who's good as a short yardage back with some leg power. And Damian Pierce has great leg power. I'm going with him. All right.
He's a very high upside. Like you're drafting the player and the athletic profile, not necessarily the production as he rotated his entire career, but hell of a player.
Now we're in pick. Wow. We're in pick. Let's see. Pick 187. Pick 187. And I'm looking at Danny Gray, who's a burner. But I don't know if I want to take another wide receiver. I love Zacoby McClain, who's a linebacker from Auburn. He's there. Do I go there? You know what? I think, I like Mike Rose to another linebacker. I'm going Jacoby McClain. I like Jacoby McClain. He's a linebacker, a little bit undersized from Auburn, and he just is a thumper, just an absolute thumper. Now, you say, well, they don't need another linebacker. They really don't need another linebacker, but fast, instinctive linebackers who, can make plays and play from scrimmage are always valuable.
And I'll say this too. This fits the mold of what the Niners have done. Yeah, we don't need a linebacker now, but they love redshirting these rookies, and both Aziz and Dre Greenlaw in the last year of their deals. So
the Niner guy is asking here. Look at this. The first donation chat, Niner guy says, have either of you watched Marquis Bell? And I did see Marquis Bell. He was in one of the All-Star games, truly athletic, lean, safety prospect, good height too, good wheels. I like Marquis Bell as a day 3 safety. Have you seen him at all, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, anybody from that school, I freaking love it. Growing up in Dallas, we used to always go watch the band play in the Cotton Bowl, which was incredible. Florida Atlantic Rattlers, or A&M, Rattlers. Sorry about that. But yeah, I haven't seen film on him. I've seen some highlights on him, and yeah, he's fun. He's a fun guy to watch. But outside of that, I couldn't go on depth on him. But yeah, man, usually they bring speed. Usually that team is just all about speed, and I think he's got it in spades.
All right, here now we are. Let's see. This is now pick number 202. So now we are in the 6th round, And this is where I'm going to take Darion Kendrick, because I think Kendrick is a third round corner who's only going to wind up in the sixth round because of that terrible 40 time. But if you watch this cat at Georgia, I mean, this guy can defend. I mean, yeah, he may have some issues down the field, but you're talking about a long arm corner who's defended the best SEC receivers. Look at the receivers that are coming out of the SEC every year. Every single Saturday, you're going up against somebody big time. So I like Darion Kendrick, and I'm just going to pretend that 40 time it didn't exist. Now we're at 206. Let's see who is the best player on the board. Danny Gray, wide receiver from SMU. He's not bad. But we've got, let's see, corner, linebacker, running back, defensive end, wide receiver, defensive tackle.
No
So
lineman.
I have not gone O line yet. And I'm going to go Dylan Parham here. The offensive lineman.
I can't believe they are so low on him. He is one of my. If they took Dylan Parham, at 61, I would be very, very happy. He is an absolute stud in the run game and a perfect scheme fit. Yes, he has some stuff he's got to work on in pass protection, but again, this is somebody that doesn't have to start right away and could step in. His ceiling is incredibly high. I love Dylan Parham. I think they're wrong for having him so low here. That is a great pick.
All right, now we're going back to back, and I like your pick. I like Velus Jones Jr. And Velus Jones. Now, granted, he's a running back, he's a kicker, he's a wide receiver, he's all of it. I already have Damian Pierce, but Velus Jones Jr. I think has got some real. I mean, now you're adding Shakur, Pierce, and Velus Jones all to your team. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of firepower right there. And then
that's the first player we both got. That's the first one that's on both our squads.
Now let's see. Now I'm looking for either an offensive tackle or somebody who shouldn't have fallen. I can't go receiver again because I already went receiver. Tanner Connor is there. I do like that pick, but I can't go that. And I can't go running back anymore. I'll tell you, I do. Let's see, tight end. Let's see tight end, because tight end is a good there's some interesting tight ends in this draft. Like Derek Deese's kid. Have you seen Derek Deese's kid from San Jose State? Yeah. No, he's only about 245. I like Andrew Ogletree. He's from he's a tight end from Youngstown State. He's 6'7", and 6'7" tight end from Youngstown with great mitts. Absolutely great mitts. So now I am at pick number. I'm in the seventh round. Seventh round just is underway, and I have 2, 3 picks left.
I love it.
Let's check.
I love it.
Let's check the
Trent Baalke would be very happy with these seventh round picks, by the way.
Yeah, Now we're in the seventh round. Now we're just taking flyers.
Yes.
So what positions do we need? It's a tight. They've covered tight end, wide receiver, guard, corner, linebacker, running back, edge,
tackle and safety.
Wide receiver,
no tackles or safeties.
Offensive tackle or safety. All right, let's take a look at the safeties first. Percy Butler from Louisiana is a good safety for sure. Like him a lot. Here's my safety. Wanye Thomas. I'm going Wanye Thomas from Georgia Tech. And he's more of a box safety, which means Jimmy Ward's going to spend another year at free safety. This guy's more of a replacement for Tart, but Wanye Thomas will knock your block off, and he loves to play the game. So now we're at pick 232, and I'm looking for the best player available, probably. Is there any need that you see? Oh, you said offensive tackle. Let's go offensive tackle. I think there's an offensive tackle that I like here. Yeah, here we go. Gene DeLance from University of Florida. He's 6'7", about 300 pounds. Niners looked at him going into the draft. Now we're into, this is the last pick of the draft, 246. Actually, 2 more picks. 2 more picks. So who is the best player available at this point? It is Thomas Booker's out there from Stanford. Clarence Hicks, a linebacker from UTEP. Tanner Connor, the wide receiver I was telling you about. David Ane. Very difficult. Very difficult. Reggie Roberson. B.J. Baylor. A lot of good running backs. I'm going to go with Derek Young, wide receiver, Lenore Ryan. I don't know if you've seen Derek Young, but he's a
I have not.
crazy. You got to see this guy. He's a totally ripped up athlete who plays for them. And now I'm at the last pick of the draft, and I could have who can I have? Let's see. What do we need at this point? Player pool. Let's take a look at the quarterbacks. Who's left on the quarterback board? The best quarterbacks: Zarek Cooper, Anthony Brown, Skylar Thompson, Chase Garbers, Cole Kelly. You like any of those guys? Let's go greatest running backs. B.J. Baylor. That's C.J. Verdell. Tough. Wide receivers.
Yeah, once you get back there, 262, it's rough. You're looking for scheme fits, right?
Exactly. Or
High
sometimes an
upside or scheme
athlete.
fits. Yeah.
An athlete that fell. It's a great defensive end class, but man, at this point in the draft, it's pretty much slim pickings. Corner, is there a corner out there? Let's check safety. I'll go Percy Butler. Percy Butler, safety. Pretty good safety. He plays for Louisiana. So there we go. Now I went Logan Hall, Khalil Shakur, Dominic Robinson from Miami of Ohio, defensive end, Damian Pierce from Florida, Jacoby McClain, linebacker from Auburn, Darion Kendrick, corner from Georgia, Dylan Parham, a guard from Memphis, Valus Jones, wide receiver, return man, Tennessee, Andrew Ogletree, a tight end from Youngstown State, Wanye Thomas, a safety from Georgia Tech, Gene DeLance, a tackle from Florida, Derek Young, a wide receiver from Lenore Ryan, and Percy Butler, a safety from Louisiana. Well, what do you think?
I think we are completely different. And I love this. And this is why you do mock drafts, right? Because you get to see this different perspective on team building / team management and best player available, which you did. And you've got probably higher end talent than I did. But, man, you got a lot of picks, too, because you traded back. So that gives you just more darts to throw at the dartboard, which is a lot of fun. Man, we're completely different outside of Velus Jones Jr., completely different ideologies, and I love it. I don't think it's like what's wrong or bad, but, yeah. I see Ziggy.
Ziggy says, not very good in terms of draft management. Larry's mock has too many low picks in the 7th round. Should have traded up for some better players. John's mock lacked an edge guy. Not so good. All right. Well,
Ziggy's a half full guy. He's optimist, and I love it. But you're right. I hate that I didn't get an edge player.
Here's one. Did we both miss out on this one? This is 49er George 365. Should they have drafted the San Diego State punter Matt Araiza?
I remember being in Nashville when they drafted the current punter, and I was just shocked and awed and appalled, and still to this day I am. Maybe in the 6th or 7th round, but even then I'd say no. I'm not for drafting punters and kickers.
James Allen says, love Shakir. He's a burner. He wins the 50-50 balls.
So fun to
Ziggy
watch.
J says Logan Hall and Dominic Robinson. Logan Hall, is kind of an angular D tackle with a lot of pass rush, who can, I think, is scheme versatile. And Robinson, I think, is just the best athlete coming off the edge.
We haven't seen that without D Ford. Yeah, it'd be nice to have that back. John Lynch would love these two. I'll tell you that right now.
Here's the other plan when you trade back. When you trade back and trade back and trade back and you wind up with 6th and 7th round picks, then all of a sudden it's day 3. And if you want to trade one of them for Saquon Barkley, you can do that. I would imagine there'll be a whole slew of veterans that are dealt during draft weekend. I would guess maybe 6 to 10 quality veteran football players will get dealt. And most of them get dealt for day 3 picks. So if you can stash a few day 3 picks, there you go.
And, I think it's a lot of fun. And, man, I'm just looking at your team and my team. And, yeah, every single draft is going to have a miss. Like, okay, it would have been great if you could have done this. But that's the reality of every single team in the NFL with the salary cap era. You can't plug every single hole. You really, really can't. So you have
No.
to pick and choose. I picked offensive line. That's what I went. Offensive line. Trey Lance was my focus. You went best player available. Just get the talent. We'll make it work out. Neither one are wrong, and different teams have different approaches, but I think we got to see a couple different variations of that today.
Yeah. I mean, and these are fun, and this kind of exercise, albeit not on YouTube, is what NFL teams are doing this time of the year. They're going through their mock drafts, they're resetting their boards, they're going back and forth to see exactly where guys are coming off the board, and then they're getting an idea of, okay, well, we'd like to have this, but we want that. What's the priority? Then they go back and they debate it. Is the edge guy the priority? Is the nickelback the priority? Is the wide receiver the priority? Looking at my draft, the one thing I didn't like is that I went wide receiver with Shakur and wide receiver with Velus Jones, but I was hoping to find that true burner home run hitter, and I don't really have that. But you win some, you lose some. I did add another piece to that incredibly deep defensive line, which just never, there's no end to the number of defensive linemen that the 49ers love.
The rich get richer, man, and just keep building in those same areas. And that linebacker pick, Jacoby McClain, when you said it, I was like, why would they do that? And then as soon as I thought that, I was like, wait a second. Right now we have 2 out of 3 starters that aren't going to be under contract next year. It's a strength of this team. Why let it change? Have somebody develop. Because of your trade backs, it made perfect sense. I love that. I didn't touch linebacker, and now I'm like, ooh, maybe I need to do some more linebacker tape.
All right, John. Great stuff, man. Have a great weekend.
Love it, guys.
And on that note, why don't we fire away the